So this week I want to help you out with one particular type of essay and extended response question. This has always been, for as long as I've been around as a teacher and examiner, and even back to when I was a student, the type of question that students are most uncertain and least confident in. And validly so, because these, inside a secret time, are also the questions students generally do worst in as well. So what are they and how should students be tackling them? Well, I've just been going through some past papers and it struck me just how many times this type of question is coming up these days. So what type of question am I talking about? It's those evaluation level questions. Now these are the dreaded types of questions that make a statement and then just finish with the word discuss. Or the questions that begin with the opening to what extent, or assess something. They may even have the word evaluate in them, like evaluate the success of blah, 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 blah. But often they don't actually include the word evaluate, which is part of what makes them more challenging. But more on that in a moment. Now, even as a national and state exam marker, I'm a little surprised at how many times these evaluation level questions keep creeping into exams, even multiple times in one paper. And not just on the ones you'd think either, like history or science, for example. No, these are in even subjects like art and HPE. In fact, on the New South Wales HPE paper of 2017, which I'll include a link to in the blog notes just in case you want to check it out. Now in that paper, the phrase "to what extent," and by the way, those words are a flashing alarm bell for an evaluation level command, so write them down. The starting phrase or command "to what extent" was used for almost every extended response question on that 2017 paper. And they actually contributed around 30% of the marks of the whole paper. For example, it was question 23, and it asked, to what extent does Australia's healthcare system benefit from having a healthy aging population? And like I said, I know that evaluate level questions are the ones that students struggle with most, which is why I include specific examples of this type of extended response question and essay titles in my exam mastery workshops. And I'm going to be covering it a lot in examples in lots of detail and breaking it down in our GTZ seminars that are coming up over the next few months. So I thought I'd just share the bones of this with you too. Here's what I want students to know. Firstly, how to identify and evaluate command in a question, even when it doesn't state the word evaluate explicitly. Secondly, this means they need to make a judgment about the statement being given. So any wording that means they need to give a judgment about might be how much they agree with the statement being given, or more objectively, how much it is agreed by others or by research that that statement is true. So let me explain using that HPE example. Remember, it was to what extent does Australia's healthcare system benefit from having a healthy aging population? Students in that case needed to respond with a yes it does, or no it doesn't, or it does to some extent. And then thirdly, they need to be able to plan and structure that full response, the body of their essay. They need to therefore outline in the intro their judgment and an overview of the reasons for it, which they can then expand on in their body paragraphs through three body paragraphs with examples, evidence, and explanations. Of course, then rounding that up with a conclusion that shows how all of those fit together and link together to lead to that overall judgment. So if your teen isn't feeling confident in these types of questions, then it's definitely time for them to take action to turn that situation around, because it's highly likely they're going to be faced with these sorts of questions in their future exams, no matter what their subjects. And rather than just figuring it out for themselves, I just want to remind you that I also have a whole catapult module called Evaluations Made Easy in my 10-week grade transformation program. And like I said, I'm going to be covering a variety of practical examples that your team can actually practice on and get my feedback on, plus go through model responses in the monthly GTZ seminars I've got coming up. So I'm Katie Price, Grade Transformation Expert, and if you'd like more information on any of those, then please check them out under Services on the Rock Solid Study website, or of course feel free to drop me an email or give me a call. And wherever you're watching this video, please scroll down, leave me a comment, give this video a share or a like, and until next week, let's make this a fantastic week.